light of numerous actions taken by a number of bodies of the United Nations which exhibit a deep anti-American bias, we have an executive order prepared for your attention that would also review American involvement in UNESCO, which has also exhibited anti-American bias.
The United States has announced that it will once again withdraw from the United Nations Cultural and Education Agency, UNESCO. The move marks the third time the US has exited the Paris-based organization, and the second time under President Donald Trump. The decision, which followed just 2 years after the rejoining under President Joe Biden, reflected a broader shift in American foreign policy. If news reports are to be believed, by the end of 2026, the United States is set to leave UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. The decision was confirmed by US officials on July 22nd. The move came as the Trump administration is re-evaluating the American involvement in international institutions. In a statement to the New York Post, White House Deputy Spokesperson Anna Kelly said,
President Trump has decided to withdraw the United States from UNESCO, which supports woke, divisive cultural and social causes that are totally out of step with the common-sense policies that Americans voted for in November. This president will always put America first and ensure our country's membership in all international organizations aligns with our national interests.
The administration also pointed to what it sees as a continued anti-Israel bias within the organization. The criticism echoed earlier US objections to UNESCO, including the agency's decision in 2011 to admit Palestine as a member state, after which both the US and Israel halted funding. Founded in 1945, UNESCO was created to promote peace through international cooperation in education, science, and culture. It is best known for designating World Heritage Sites, including the Grand Canyon in the United States and the ancient city of Palmyra in Syria. The US has a long and complicated history with the agency. It first withdrew in 1984 under President Ronald Reagan, citing financial mismanagement and what Washington viewed as an ideological tilt during the Cold War. The US rejoined in 2003 under President George W. Bush, who said reforms at the agency justified its return. President Trump first pulled out of UNESCO in 2017, and the decision took effect a year later. President Biden reversed that move in 2021, rejoining not only UNESCO, but also other global agreements such as the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord. Now, with Trump back in office, many of those reversals are being undone. The US has already announced its intention to leave the WHO again and to halt funding to the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA. A broader review of US participation in UN bodies is expected to conclude later this summer. UNESCO has not yet formally responded to the latest withdrawal announcement, though officials were reportedly anticipating the move. The decision is seen as a significant blow to the organization, which relies in part on US funding, currently around 8% of its total budget, down from approximately 20% before the last US departure. Observers say the move reflects a growing divide over how the US engages with international institutions. Supporters of the decision argue that UNESCO's agenda is no longer aligned with American interests. Critics, however, warn that repeated withdrawals undermine US influence and weaken global cooperation in areas ranging from cultural preservation to education and scientific research. As the Trump administration continues its reassessment of US involvement in multilateral organizations, the decision to leave UNESCO highlights a recurring question in American foreign policy. What role should the United States play on the global stage?